Get out, you worthless bum! This is our daughter's house now! My in-laws screamed viciously, dumping my belongings on the street like trash. They didn't realize I owned the damn place. I just laughed out loud, called the cops, and watched them get escorted out. Their desperate whining pleas started flooding my phone. Minutes later, I, 35M, am still processing the sheer audacity. Got home maybe 6:30 p.m. yesterday after a killer deadline day, brain completely fried. All I wanted was a cold beer and silence. Pulled into my driveway and slammed on the brakes. There was a pile of stuff on my front lawn. My stuff. My favorite faded college hoodie, a box of vinyl records spilling open, a stack of graphic novels, even the dumb ceramic owl Sophia gave me 2 years ago, sitting crookedly on top, just dumped there like yard waste, and standing there, radiating pure fury, were my mother-in-law, Cheryl, 60s SF, and father-in-law, Gary, 60s M. My wife, Sophia, 34F, was hovering near the porch, arms crossed, looking away, a weird mix of defiant and nervous. Before my car door even clicked shut, Cheryl started. Her voice wasn't just loud, it was jagged. "There he is, finally, the worthless bum!" I killed the engine, and this odd sense of calm, like deep sea pressure, settled over me. I got out slowly, didn't rush. Gary puffed his chest out, taking a step forward. "Okay, Ethan, this isn't working. Get out, we're changing the locks tomorrow. This is Sophia's house now. Our daughter deserves stability, security, not, well, you." He waved dismissively in my direction. Sophia finally spoke, her voice thin, still not looking at me. "Ethan, it's over. I told you things weren't right. Mom and Dad agree. It's just better if you leave." My house, the one I bought with my down payment 5 years before I even swiped right on Sophia, the one where only my name is on the deed, the mortgage, everything they'd maybe visited 4 times before she moved in, always acting like they were doing me a huge favor. Now, suddenly, Sophia's house? The mental gymnastics were staggering. Cheryl advanced, fingers stabbing the air towards me. "You heard him! Get out! You aren't welcome here, you worthless bum! This is our daughter's house now!" She punctuated this by kicking a cardboard box. My old Psych 101 textbook skittered across the damp grass, and that's when the absurdity hit me. I started laughing. Not a chuckle, a full-blown, slightly manic laugh that surprised even me. It echoed a bit. Cheryl's jaw actually dropped. Gary blinked. Sophia flinched like I'd yelled. "My house I choked out, wiping an eye. "Sophia's house? Wow. Did I miss the closing? Was there a memo?" "Don't you dare mock us," Gary blustered, recovering. "This is only fair. Sophia dedicated years to you. She deserves this house for everything she's put up with." "Put up with what? My stable job? Paying all the bills?" "Since you clearly don't appreciate her," Cheryl jumped back in. "You work constantly. You're never home. We're stepping in to ensure she has what she deserves." "Right," I said, the laughter finally gone, replaced by ice. I pulled out my phone. "Well, if you're stepping in, maybe step back." "What are you doing?" Sophia asked, panic flashing in her eyes. "Calling the folks who handle property disputes," I said evenly. "Trespassing, specifically. You know, the police." "Don't you dare!" Cheryl shrieked. "This is a family matter. Not when you're on my property throwing my stuff around," I said, dialing 911. I calmly gave my address, stated there were 3 individuals trespassing, refusing to leave, had moved my belongings onto the lawn, and were claiming ownership of my home. Cheryl was practically gargling with rage in the background, yelling that I was the one who needed to leave. Gary started towards me, muttering about talking sense into me. "Gary, I wouldn't," I warned, holding up my free hand. "Stay there. Adding assault to the mix won't look good." He hesitated, stopped. Sophia looked genuinely panicked now. "Ethan, please, hang up. Just go stay with your brother Ryan for a few days. We can talk later." "Talk about what, Sophia?" My voice was flat. The betrayal felt like a physical blow. "The part where you plotted with your parents to illegally kick me out of the house I own? Or the part where you stood by while they threw my life onto the lawn? Which bit requires clarification?" She winced. The flashing lights arrived quickly. 2 cars, 4 officers. They took in the scene, me by my car, my possessions scattered, the trio near the porch. They separated us. 2 officers talked to Cheryl, Gary, and Sophia, while the other 2 spoke with me. I explained again, showed my license with the matching address. Mentioned the deed was solely mine, premarital. The senior officer listened, nodded, his face unreadable. He then rejoined the other group. I heard snippets. His legal residence, civil matter for the courts, must vacate the premises immediately. Cheryl went nuclear. It's her marital home. He can't just throw her out. We aren't leaving. Gary puffed up again. We're staying to protect our daughter. The officer's patience visibly thinned. Ma'am, sir, this isn't optional. This is his property according to the ID provided. You are trespassing. You need to leave now. Cheryl planted her feet. No! That was it. One officer took Cheryl firmly by the arm. She shrieked and tried to pull away. Another officer firmly steered Gary towards the sidewalk. It wasn't rough, but it was decisive. Physically escorted off my property, yelling threats and insults the whole way. You'll regret this. We'll see you in court. Sophia trailed after them, head down, crying. She didn't look back. As their car, parked suspiciously down the block, sped off, my phone exploded. Texts, missed calls, voicemails. Cheryl's incoherent rage, Gary's faux disappointed guilt trips. I thought you were a better man than this, Ethan. Sophia's whining texts. Ethan, please call me. It's not what it looks like. My parents were just worried. We can fix this. Ignored them all. Methodically gathered every single item. Carried it all back inside. Locked the door. Felt shaky, furious, but weirdly resolute. First call tomorrow. Locksmith. Second, divorce lawyer. They actually thought this would work. Unfreaking believable. Update. Okay, update time. Things have gotten messy. Thanks for the support on the last post. Nice knowing I'm not alone in dealing with extreme entitlement. Met with my lawyer, Mr. Davies. Sharp, focused guy. Laid out the whole story, documentation in hand. Deed, mortgage, tax bills, all predating Sophia, all solely mine. He confirmed my position. The house is separate property, end of discussion legally. Sophia might have a theoretical claim to a tiny slice of appreciation if she could prove substantial direct contribution, which Davies agreed was highly unlikely based on the financials I provided. I paid everything significant. He started drafting the divorce petition. Grounds: irreconcilable differences, but he included a factual summary of the lawn incident as context for her behavior. The harassment didn't stop, it just mutated. Constant calls. Caller ID is my friend. Texts ranging from Cheryl's all-caps threats, "You will pay for this," to Gary's attempts at manipulation, "Think of the good times, Ethan, don't throw it all away," to Sophia's pleading, "Ethan, please talk to me, I miss you." Then Sophia's older sister, Heather, 38F, entered the fray. Heather always fancied herself the family fixer. Started with saccharine texts. "Ethan, honey, you need to talk to Soph. This is tearing her apart." When I ignored those, the claws came out, angry voicemails. "You gutless coward, answer the phone!" Then the doorbell started ringing one evening. Non-stop. Ding dong, ding dong. Checked the video doorbell. Heather, looking furious. I ignored it. Then the banging started. Loud enough to rattle the door frame. "Ethan, open this damn door. You owe her. You think you can just kick her out after everything?" The projection was stunning. Saved the video, called the non-emergency line, referenced the prior incident, emailed the footage. Police paid her a visit. The direct harassment from her stopped, but I knew she wasn't done. Subtler stuff started. Fraud alert on my credit card for an online order I didn't place. Caught it. Card canceled. An alert from my bank about a blocked suspicious login attempt. Changed passwords everywhere. Then came the deluge of junk mail for Sophia at my address. Bridal magazines, parenting catalogs. We have no kids. Credit card offers galore. Annoying, possibly an attempt to establish residency. Marked return to sender. Addressee no longer resides here, straight to recycling. Gary and Cheryl started with slow, creepy drive-bys past the house. Then Gary escalated slightly, yelling, "Enjoy it while you can." Out his window one afternoon, felt like something out of a bad movie. Installed 2 more cameras covering the street. The smear campaign intensified. Heard from my brother Ryan that Heather had called him, launching into a tirade about how I was unstable, abusive, controlling, and had tossed Sophia out, penniless after I supposedly had an affair. Ryan knows me, knows the family dynamic, and shut her down fast. but they were clearly trying to poison the well. Heard from Megan, Sophia's cousin who's quietly sympathetic, that Cheryl had cornered her at a family function, boasting about how they were taking care of things and ensuring Sophia got the house she deserved. The pre-planning was real. Sophia's lawyer sent a formal demand letter to Mr. Davies. The ask, 50% of the house's current value, $5,000 a month spousal support, and I pay her legal fees. Davies' response was ice cold. Reiterated the house is non-negotiable, separate property, CC'd the deed again, referenced the police reports regarding the eviction attempt and Heather's harassment, stated spousal support was non-starter given her conduct and short marriage. He agreed to discuss division of actual marital assets, like the small joint savings, but only after the house issue was formally dropped. Blocked all their numbers, all comms via lawyers now. It's stressful, there are nights I don't sleep well, but every ridiculous demand, every failed stunt just steals my resolve. They thought I'd crumble. Big mistake. Final update, deep breath, it's done. Finally, completely, officially done. The divorce decree is finalized, and the consequences for team entitlement? Pretty much exactly what they engineered for themselves. The last couple of months were a drag legally, but predictable. Heather, after being shut down by my work HR for sending harassing emails, which Davies also documented, tried one last stunt, a fake social media profile using my name and pictures. Started posting inflammatory nonsense. It caused a brief headache. Had to explain it to my Aunt Linda, who saw it and called me worried. But it was clumsy. Davies sent a cease and desist. We reported the profile. It got nuked. That seemed to finally silence Heather. Cheryl and Gary kept up their pity tour, but it lost steam. People started avoiding them, and their narrative of the abusive husband kicking out poor Sophia just didn't stick once the facts about the house ownership and the lawn incident trickled out, mostly via me calmly stating facts when asked directly. The legal process crawled a bit. Requests for discovery, where Sophia couldn't produce a single document proving financial contribution to the house. Scheduling conferences, her lawyer kept trying to push for mediation focused on the house. Davies shut it down every time. Finally, in a pre-trial settlement conference, faced with zero legal standing on the house, documented harassment, and the judge basically signaling impatience, Sophia's lawyer advised her to cut her losses. The revenge. Legal, financial, and served. Ice cold. My goal wasn't petty vengeance, it was simply holding the line and letting the legal and natural consequences play out fully. No compromises on my rights, no rewarding their behavior. The divorce decree. Brutally simple, and exactly what Davies predicted from the start. The house confirmed 100% my separate premarital property. No equity split, no buyout, off the table. Spousal support denied. Justification cited short marriage duration and documented misconduct. The lawn incident, harassment. Assets. We split the joint savings. I had $6,000 total. She gets her personal belongings. That's it. The belongings hassle. Sophia ignored requests to pick up her stuff for weeks. Mr. Davies advised packing it professionally and storing it to avoid claims of damage withholding. I paid the initial storage fees up front to get it out of my house. Her lawyer was informed the cost would be deducted from her share of minor joint assets or billed directly. She refused to pay the ongoing storage fees. I ended up paying another month to stop the unit going to auction. More hassle for me. But Davies successfully argued to have these costs reimbursed from her minimal share of the final settlement. She netted barely $2,000 after those costs and half the savings. The financial implosion. This is the chef's kiss of consequences they built themselves. Sophia quit her job before the lawn incident, assuming a windfall. Cheryl and Gary co-signed a lease on a pricey apartment for her immediately after, banking on the house payout. Now, Sophia has no job, virtually no savings, no support. Cheryl and Gary are stuck paying $2,500 plus month rent. Megan, the cousin, mentioned hushed, furious arguments. Gary apparently told Sophia to get a minimum wage job yesterday. Heard Cheryl had to take a significant penalized withdrawal from their retirement fund to cover the initial costs and ongoing support. They created their own financial nightmare through sheer arrogance. Social fallout. The isolation solidified. Most mutual friends faded out or explicitly took my side once the facts emerged. They tried hosting a summer BBQ. Apparently it was mostly just them and Heather awkwardly poking at burgers. Their attempt to control the narrative failed miserably. They're seen not as victims but as grasping and foolish. How am I doing? Relieved doesn't cover it. Vindicated. Lighter. It was a draining 4 months. Stress. Anger. Moments of profound disappointment in the person I married, but seeing the legal process work, methodically dismantling their entitled fantasy, brought closure. The house feels like mine again. Quietly reclaiming it, new paint, rearranging furniture, catching up with friends they didn't approve of, planning a road trip, thinking seriously about that rescue dog. The quiet isn't lonely, it's peaceful. My phone stays silent now, no desperate texts, no angry calls, just peace. They tried to take everything. They ended up wrecking their own finances and reputation, couldn't have scripted a more fitting end based on their own actions. Thanks for following along, Reddit. Time to close this chapter.